Coach, let's talk a little bit about Bedlam. I know we're all thinking of Sunday, and you mentioned that earlier.
Well, you know, this is as tough as a match for us as probably the two we have on Sunday. I know Chris Perry's not overlooking it because he's been a part of it. Yeah, it's challenging. It's another match. You know, it's not something that you can overlook. I'm actually going to take our team down tonight just for that purpose, so we can get focused on this match, get out of town, and spend all day preparing for it. We've got a lot to gain from this match, where we have 3 matches after this. This is their last match till conference, I believe. So they match up well with us, and we're going to have to win key matches to win the duel.
I'm kind of surprised. You said you wanted this on this schedule, on this week intentionally. Is this one of those challenges that you,
Yeah.
John Smith challenge?
I think you get through and you wrestle through this week and have good performances. You should be thinking you can do anything, you know. And you know, if it doesn't happen that way, that's okay too. But if we can compete well and wrestle through the weekend or through the week and keep our nose focused on what's at hand, you know, you may have a team that can do anything.
What are your biggest concerns with Bedlam when you look at, obviously, you know, they're extremely strong at 141, but I mean.
Well, they're good at 41. I mean, you know, they're favored at 41, probably 49, 65, and probably 84. We've been in tough matches with them at 49 and 57. You know, they're 97-pounders wrestling well. So, you know, it's probably a match that we really need to focus on bonus in case the matches are split. You know, right now I don't know who's going to wrestle for us at 41, but it's a tall order. He made your decision, Kendig, last time. So, you know, where you have an opportunity to get bonus is going to be real important in this match if it is split.
What do you think about your nephew Mark coming in town this weekend? Kind of a family affair. I mean, you have three other nephews on the team, and then you have the oldest, Chris's older brother, coaching against you guys. And I mean, a lot of family are in town. You talk about the whole environment that'll be this weekend.
Well, I think, you know, first off, it's good to see him doing well. You know, as an assistant coach there, it seems like the staff that they put together kind of brought this team to a level that probably it should be at, one. But that's easy to say. I mean, you got to do it. It looks like they've done that. So, you know, proud of him from that standpoint that he's raised the level of expectation there, and you can see it by their results. But other than that, I'm ready to whip him. You know, I'm ready for our team to whip him and send them home with their heads tucked between their legs, and it's not, I mean, it's family to a point, and then it's competition. You know, so they're a good team, tough team, can't overlook them. They've got a lot to gain by being in this event, and we got to recognize that the challenge will be there.
You touched on this a little bit, but are you surprised? Or are you impressed not necessarily from a coaching standpoint, but as a family uncle standpoint, at how quickly he's risen through the ranks, the coaching?
Oh, I think he's put his time in. You know, he's been at Penn State, he's been at Cal Poly, So he's seen different levels of programs, and that's probably why he's had the opportunity to go back into the Big Ten. So he's put a lot of work in. So no, I'm not surprised. He's a go-getter, and he's got great passion as a coach, and there's a lot of people that would want him. He adds to the room, and definitely does a good job in developing his athletes.
John, last Sunday, your intensity seemed to be pretty high. It was a huge event to have the regional format and launch it with one over here in Stillwater. You had already said you felt it was the toughest of the regionals. Your team was intense. You look at those two performances with Wyoming and Ohio State. Is that one of those things, if you're a coach, you just like to bottle that? Because you would think performances like that will get you done each and every time you hit the mat.
Yeah, the one thing, if anything last week that you want to bottle, as you say, would be third periods. I mean, all the close matches, we won. Scoring takedowns in the third period, that's what we did. I could go back and criticize a little bit the first and second periods in several matches, but there's just something that helps you get over maybe having a poor start is a great finish. And in several of our matches we had great finishes, and that's what was very important. We wrestled, I believe, 2 overtime matches in the Wyoming match, won them both. We wrestled 4 matches that was within 2 points of our opponent in Ohio State, won them all. So you like to see that, Obviously, we're about trying to dominate people and stretch scores out, and that's what you need to do against the majority of your opponents. But in those big matches, you sure like to see third period action on our part.
Talk about the thrill, and I know when you think about it, Oklahoma State this week gets to wrestle their arch rival on Thursday, and then bring in 3 Big Ten teams, including Iowa and Minnesota on Sunday. I mean, you talk about packaging the best this sport has to offer in a 4-day period. It's right there.
Yeah, and dual meet competition doesn't get any better. I mean, it's good, and it's going to be tough. National duels, you've got 2 tough matches. Regardless if you win your first one or not, you coming back and wrestling another tough match. It's 2 and 6 is the event, and at 2 o'clock the semifinals will advance. The 2 teams that lose will come back at 6 o'clock on 2 mats. The finals will be on 1 mat, and the third and fourth will be on a mat. So, really, it regardless of who wins, it's going to be 2 tough matches. Very competitive. It's going to make a difference in a lot of things. The seeds, which I've never put a lot of emphasis on them, but for some individuals, they're motivated where they're seated, and for that reason, it becomes a little bit more important.
Are you hoping the people who are most powerful, which you're one of them, in this sport, are watching what's going on with this event, and that maybe this will be something that will grow?
Yeah, I think so. I'd like to see it. I'm not sure about the timing, that this is the best time of the year to be having this, but I'd rather have it this time of year than not have it. So I'm willing to stay in the game and continue to be a part of it if this is the time we have to do it. Makes it a little bit difficult sometimes because of scheduling. And, just hope that everybody has the same view as I do.
Thoughts on Jamal? I mean, it seems like he's a guy who just put in his work and put the grind in the past couple of years, and just is nothing flashy, but has continued to move his way up to the point where he's now second in his weight class, undefeated. Can you talk about how he's progressed over the years and what he means to the program.
Well, I've made it known that it was a real struggle with him early on. A lot of it was him maturing, growing up. Of course, he didn't get a very, very good shake or very good, a fair shake growing up. I mean, he had some serious issues from a standpoint of the conventional family. And he had to grow through some of that. Some of that mentally might have hung on, and it was good that he's kind of growing through that and not allowing that to be crippling to him, And that's being without a father and mother for most of his career. Had to live with his coach from his 9th grade on, So those type of things can cripple you, and either you accept it or you just move through it. And it's good to see him move through some of the issues that he's had to be where he's at today. Just got to remember, though, this is the time that it matters most. This is the time to kind of embrace everything that you're trying to do, and rather than allowing pressure or not seeing yourself being the person that you've talked about all season. That's trying to be the best, So it's real important. And my guys, they embrace who we are and what we've done, And I will say that this is a team that, beginning of the year, I'm a little surprised. I shouldn't say I'm surprised. I would say that I wasn't planning on being 14-0 at this time of the year. Didn't plan on a lot of things that have materialized with this group. I think that this group is wrestling above their potential, and I see it a team that can even wrestle better than what it's performed.
Coach, you talk about attitude and leadership in the wrestling room. Is Jamal one of those guys who's...
I think he does a pretty good job most of the time. I think, I think that what some of my leaders need to do, and 3 of them are here, Perry and Oliver and Parks, we just need to embrace where we're at, who we are, what we've done, and let it be exciting from this point forward. When you've had a great year as an athlete or a great year as a team, to take that next step, you really have to embrace it and love what you're doing, love where you're at, and know that there's better to come. That's how you win. That's how you be the best. That's how you become the best. It's not by letting fear or worrying about losing. You don't become a great wrestler or a great champion with the fear of losing on your mind. Become a great champion because you accept who you are, you accept what you've done, and I'm going to do more. And that's always the challenge among individuals, to take the next step. That's the next step that this team needs to take, is that embrace who we are and what we've done, and we want more, rather than we're worried about losing. Who cares? Somebody loses a match, doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you can't still win. Just don't want fear to be crippling right now. And I think it's real important that the individuals on this team, they start embracing who they are, looking in the mirror. They've got me ranked number 2. I should be number 1. I'm the best. Rather than number 2 means you're a step down below somebody at the end. If you're ranked number 3 or number 4, you're 3 or 4 steps down below people. Is that really where you want to be? So that's where we need to go now. That's the place we need to go.
Last week you handicapped the regionals. We thought Ames was the easiest, that Iowa was going to come straight through.
Yeah.
I thought Minnesota would do well. You kind of felt yours was the hardest, and I think you even said Cornell ought to be favored, but you thought that was a little more wide open. So you kind of nailed them.
Mm-hmm.
Handicapped the Final Four.
Oh, I think our first match with Illinois matches up pretty well with us. I think it's definitely, if we show up and have continued to wrestle like we've been wrestling, or even better, we'll be in position to meet either Minnesota or Iowa in the finals. I think, in that dual meet, I think it's probably gonna come down to the health of the student athletes at this time of the year in the Minnesota-Iowa match. Iowa's appeared in dual meet competition to have their number, but the way Minnesota's wrestled in the last month, it's going to be as good a match as the one on the other side. So I think any of the teams could take fourth, and I think only a couple of us can win. If you have a bad weekend, you can finish fourth pretty easy.
Coach, the West Virginia finally got accepted in the Big 12. Missouri leaves next year. Do you still plan to wrestle Missouri since the SEC doesn't have wrestling? And what do you feel about the West Virginia program?
Well, I think that they just got better real quickly. I think, West Virginia's only about an hour from Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is one of the strongest areas in wrestling in the nation. There's a lot of people who want to wrestle Oklahoma and Oklahoma State and Iowa State. So I think if they take advantage of what just happened, we're going to see West Virginia get quicker pretty quick. Didn't like what I saw from the athletic director, coming into our conference and saying that he's got about 6 sports that aren't going to travel and wrestle. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. Did you see that?
No, he said the wrestling team
like
wasn't gonna.
six of his sports that wasn't going to really participate in the Big 12 outside of the conference championships. I think that'll change pretty quick. Not sure that we'll see that, but yeah, West Virginia will be a good program in the future. I think they're going to have a great opportunity to recruit a better athlete. I think that we could see wrestling in the future break up into regionals, and I think that'd be a good thing. But if it stays the way it is, I think it's fine. We got several teams that are in conferences that don't have a lot of wrestling, but I don't think it's going to affect Missouri. Missouri has built their program up to a level of expectation now that we want them on our schedule because they're that tough, they're that good. And for that reason, we're going to wrestle them. I mean, half our schedule is non-conference meets. We tend to have a little bit of a closed. We don't look at conference. Conference. I can't. Last several years, I can't win by just wrestling conference teams. I got to be wrestling Minnesota, Iowa right now. Look to get Penn State on our schedule. So.
Anybody in the SEC wrestle?
No.
So
Only conference.
could you see a chance where the coaches in this league could say to the conference office, hey, why don't you let Missouri hang in here and
They
be
should.
a Big 12 wrestling school?
Definitely come up.
Because it happens in other.
Yeah, and I think that as they settle in down here and hire their people and it gets solidified down there in the office, I think that's a possibility. It's definitely come up, and it's definitely something that we'd love to see.
How hard is it to bring in top quality opponents here into Gallagher-Iba Arena? I mean,
It's easy.
It's easy.
Why do you think Kale didn't get his program in this?
Well, I think they won a
in
national championship last year without the national duels, and I think they're thinking they want to take that same route. For years, the problem with this national duels is it was stuck in Iowa, and we got tired of going. There were several years we didn't go. You know, it was just such a disadvantage each and every year. And I think this is the first year that it's happened. And I think we'll probably see Penn State in the future if we keep this type of tournament style that we're running this year. And it's good. You know, it's good. I mean, you're going to see Iowa, Minnesota, Illinois. 1979 was the last time we wrestled Ohio State at home. So seeing those new teams and those new faces in your own arena is something that you definitely need to have more and more of.